Okay, Sanjay Nirupam has stirred quite a controversy by calling the recent surgical strikes to be fake. The Congress leader, he said that every Indian wants surgical strikes against Pakistan, but not a fake one to extract just a political benefit out of it. We have with us Sanjay Nirupam now joining us on the phone line. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. Those are some comments you have made. Why do you call them fake?
See, basically, when we were in power, at that time also, surgical strikes used to take place, and we never claimed or we never marketed that. The way BJP is marketing it to extract political benefit out of a surgical strike, the questions are being raised internationally. Even in India, a lot of people are raising the questions. Now it comes out that whether a sort of surgical strike was carried out or not. So that is why I'm asking, I'm blaming the government. They are just making hoopla, they are just making noise, and without destroying terror camps which is situated in POK. So as an Indian, I have the right to ask questions.
No, but sir, what is the proof that you have? Why are you saying that these are fake? I mean, just because they have gone out there and mentioned about the surgical strikes, covert operations have taken place, but there was an intent to go public this time around and talk about these surgical strikes. It was for no reason that the Director General of Military Operations, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh, had that press conference.
That is a question that after Uri attack, Modi was tremendously under pressure from the Indian citizen, and I think just to save his face, he has used his clout in the government, his minister, defense minister, just to propagate it. Yes, we have carried out. Somehow this is a question, and the question is to be answered by the government only. I'm not blaming Indian Army.
No, but it was the Indian Army that had, sir, it was the Indian Army that had, talked about these surgical strikes. It was the Director General of Military Operations, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh. It was not the government. It was not the Defense Minister who was present at that press conference. And they very, very, very clearly and, in detail talked about the strikes and how it had inflicted significant casualties on the terrorists from, across the border.
Excuse me, let me complete first. My point is, I cannot suspect on the strength of my Indian Army. I'm proud of my Indian Army.
Then why do you call them fake?
But that is why I'm asking, because a lot of questions are being raised.
Who's raising these questions, sir?
All over India, the questions are being raised. And somehow we feel that government is trying to propagate it without any substance. And that is why we are raising questions.
No, so are you doubting the work of the Indian Army, the precision with which those surgical strikes were executed, or even for that matter, the para-commandos who put their own life at risk to, attack those terror launch pads across the line of controls? Are you questioning all of that?
I have said clearly that we all want that terror camps should be demolished, destroyed, dismantled in POK. And government is just propagating it. Government is not coming out with any substantive material that just it has been carried out, and this is the proof of the destruction.
Okay, just stay with me, sir. Sir, if you could just please stay with me. We also have with us the BJP national spokesperson, Samit Patra, who's with us on the phone line. Sir, thank you so much for your time. How do you react to, the kind of comments being made by Sanjay Nirupam? He has questioned the government, he has questioned the surgical strikes, and he has even called it to be fake.
Speaking very truly, I'm very pained. And I feel like hanging my head in shame that India has such kind of leaders also. This questioning of the surgical strike, calling the surgical strike as fake, is in fact questioning the Indian Army. Let me remind Mr. Sanjay Nirupam and the ilk in the sense Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Digvijay Singh, that this surgical strike was carried with precision by the Indian Army, and the information was given to the country and abroad by none other than the Director General of Military Operations, DGMO of the Indian Army. And despite knowing all this, because of petty politics, the Indian Congress and the leaders of Indian Congress are not able to digest the truth, and they're questioning the Indian Army. This is absolutely undone. Today, I'm sure, since Pakistan is carrying Arvind Kejriwal as the headline, tomorrow's headline would be Mr. Sanjay Nirupam and the likes of him, who would be hailed as hero in Pakistan. Let them be hero in Pakistan, but we feel very saddened that we have such kind of leaders in India.
Mr. Sanjay Nirupam, would you like to respond to that? You're questioning what the Indian Army did out there when it went across the line of control and attacked those terror launch pads. 7 different launch pads were targeted by the Indian Army. In fact, it was a thoughtfully planned exercise. And you're doubting all of that. You're raising questions. You're even, questioning the credibility, in a sense, of the Indian Army by calling it a fake exercise.
Can I respond?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Mr. Patra is saying that it is a petty politics. As a matter of fact, BJP is doing petty politics and misusing the army strength for their own political benefit, and we condemn it, and that is why we are raising the question. Last Sunday, in a column, Swaminathan had asked so many questions with regard to surgical strike. He is not a Pakistani. He is not an international guy. He is an Indian. So a lot of people are asking, if you are propagating on such a high level, it is your duty to explain and give some proof, some evidence. Otherwise, you are just trying to save your face after during attack.
No, sir. Sir, by you demanding evidence and proof is also indicated of the lack of faith that you have in the government. That's very strange, because all the political parties have come together in this time of an hour and have expressed solidarity and have supported the government on the surgical strikes. And you're out there questioning the government over these surgical strikes. That means that you don't have faith into what exactly has happened. Is that true?
You are 100% right. We all had supported surgical strikes when the government announced. Yes, we have carried out a surgical strike, and our party leaders supported. Yes, India needs this, and even today we want that surgical strike should be carried out. But when the things are coming out, there is no such surgical strike. BJP just...
No, but sir, where are these things coming out? Could you elaborate? Could you elaborate a little bit more for us? Where are these things coming out? What things are coming out? Who are the people who are questioning the Indian Army and the surgical strikes mounted across the line of control?
In India, people are asking questions, various questions with regard to government's wrong propaganda. The government must not get into this kind of propaganda activities. They must take action against the Pakistani terror camp, but they should not just go ahead with their propaganda. And we are against that kind of soft, petty propaganda.
Mr. Samit Patra, would you like to respond?
Respond to such kind of virile leaders who are questioning the Indian Army. And when he says that there is a propaganda against India, against the surgical strike, then let me remind him that the propagandists are none other than the Pakistanis. Pakistan, in fact, is ushering in a propaganda saying that there was no surgical strike, and the confusion amongst the Pakistanis is quite obvious. The confusion among the congressmen is also quite obvious, though they have left it no other option but to support the government, because this is an issue of national security where we are all supposed to be united. But it's astonishing that because of petty politics, I underline this word petty politics because it is politics only, because they feel that all these should be related to vote bank politics. I don't want to see this as a politics at all. This is an issue of national security. You should not question. I asked Mr. Sanjay Nirupam, are you questioning the DGMO of India? Because the Director General Military Operation, in fact, came out with this press conference. He came out with every detail, the precision with which the Indian Army, in fact, attacked the camps, in fact, the launch pads in which the terrorists were holed up. So naturally, this questioning of Sanjay Nirupam is akin to Congress questioning the credibility of Indian Army. Never before in the history of polity of India, any national political party has questioned the credibility of Indian Army.
Mr.
For
Sanjay
the first
Nirupam,
time, Sanjay Nirupam has stooped to that level.
who exactly are you questioning, the government or the Indian Army? Political parties across the country came together and firmly backed the government, not only firmly backed and supported the government over the recent strikes, but even applauded and congratulated the government for what has been done. And, you know, the government was one thing, but even congratulated our brave soldiers, the Indian Army, for carrying out the successful surgical strike. Why are you questioning all of this, and why are you even demanding any proof and evidence? Don't you have faith in the Indian Army?
You have repeated yourself. You have asked the same question again. No problem, but for your benefit.
No, but sir, tell me something. When Osama bin Laden was taken by the United States, did anyone in the United States ask the government for any proof and evidence? Because I only wonder as to why you're raising these questions now when all the political parties had in fact backed the government on this latest development that had taken place.
Okay, how many times you want to repeat yourself? How many times do you
No, I just want to understand from you, what was the trigger, sir? Why do you call this a political tamasha? Why are you questioning this to be a political propaganda?
Let me reply. If you have seen my tweet, you must have seen those photographs, those banners which are being displayed by the BJP. So BJP is doing petty politics. I don't have any suspicion on the strength of my army. Our Indian army is the strongest army in the world. But in the name of army, action, BJP is doing petty politics. And as a politician, I have the right to raise question and suspicion on the BJP's intention. I'm again making an allegation on the Modi government that because after post-Modi attack, Modi government was...
So aren't you then politicizing the entire matter? No, aren't you then politicizing the entire matter? Aren't you just playing petty politics by raising questions to the government when in fact it was the DGMO who had addressed that press conference?
Politicizing it? Who started politicizing it? Who has put the banners all over country? Congress party has put the banner. Why does BJP people misusing army? They are doing politics over national interest. Onus is on them. They should answer.
Okay.
Why should I answer?
So finally, sir, what is your final demand from the government?
I've said so many times. The government must come out with some evidence to prove their own claim.
Okay.
I don't suspect army's claim, but the way BJP is using Mr. Parrikar, who is the worst defense minister ever India has, was going to be felicitated in Goa. For what?
No, sir. Now this is getting a little too personal. Sir, how can you make that acquisition? Anyway, we'll have to just leave it here. Yes, Mr. Sambit Patra. Sir, if I could just get in a quick word from Mr. Sambit Patra as well. I just heard you. Let him just respond.
I feel extremely horrible. Sanjay Nirupam is senior to me. I respect every politician. But today, in fact, the last Mufti of Pakistan, when a seasoned politician, one of the important politicians of Congress party says that the present defense minister of the country is the worst defense minister, when we just had a surgical strike, what does it mean? We are playing to the tunes of Pakistan. I urge all our political brethren, please don't do this to your own country. Please don't question your own army. Look, the surgical strikes are not carried out by politicians. Politicians do not carry a gun or the artillery and go and carry out surgical strikes. It is the army jawans who take their life on their own hands, That's the kind of precision that they have. That's the kind of valor that our jawans have. And when we politicians tweet to things like these are all fake attacks, nothing happens, you are questioning the martyrdom of our jawans. And I believe this is absolutely unbecoming of Congress.
All right, Mr. Sanjay Nirupam, Sambit Patra, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us and expressing your views. We will, of course, keep getting more reactions on the demands made by the senior Congress leader, Sanjay Nirupam, and what exactly has he now asked from the Modi government. Well, this is a controversy that will refuse to die anytime soon, but we'll have